Interest rates are surging, the bond market's throwing a fit. Are you ready for phase two of the Great Reset? Now, phase one was about trade policy, and now we have trade deals, but it failed to lower interest rates. As a matter of fact, they're starting to panic higher. Now, today we had a failed bond auction. Let's go ahead and cover what that means. It's very important for interest rates. A bond auction is basically where the government goes to borrow money. In exchange, they offer interest. So you buy government debt because they're going to pay you interest. Now, the problem is there's a lack of buyers. Now, when there's a lack of buyers, they increase the interest to attract more buyers. But that also increases overall interest rates, and that's what we saw today. A failed auction, a lack of buyers, a lack of demand, and interest rates surged higher at a time when they're already too high. So naturally, the next question is, why is there a lack of demand for US treasuries? There's a lack of demand because Trump is trying to pass the largest tax cut in history. And what that means is if he passes it, he's going to be borrowing more debt, offering more US treasuries, which dilutes the treasury price. So if prices are going to be lower in the future, why buy now when you can buy later for a higher interest rate? Now, the other concern is the credit downgrade, which basically says the US government will not be able to pay you back in the future because they're increasing their chances of default on paying the interest on those treasuries. But let's stay focused. The problem is there's a lack of demand. There needs to be a buyer. And that's where the next regulatory bill comes in. The Genius Act is stablecoin legislation, and it actually might be a genius plan which solves the debt issue. Now, what the Genius Act does is it forces stablecoin issuers like Tether or Circle to buy US treasuries to back their stablecoins. And we're talking hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of demand in the US Treasury market over the next 3 years. So the tax policy is really good for growth, but it also means higher interest rates, maybe stickier inflation. So to get those interest rates down, you're gonna need to pass the Genius Act. And that's why this stablecoin legislation is the most important bill for crypto and for the overall market. By the way, if the Genius Act is passed anytime soon, expect Bitcoin and altcoins crypto to go crazy.